Hi, thank you for coming for my Module 2 session. Today we're going to cover about understanding a child's likes, dislikes, and sensory preferences. Okay, like anybody else, our kids also have some likes and dislikes and some sensory issues. Okay, so let's delve into it. At the end of the lesson, I hope that you have some understanding about the sensory preferences, some of the characteristics and symptoms, and maybe a few suggestions that I hope you can take away with you. Okay, so understanding sensory preferences. Now, basically, we are looking at whether we are able to translate the sensory information into action, as known as sensory processing. Okay, so if you hit by a fire, you tend to react. Okay, so that is because there is a transformation that is processing and you are able to sense it. However, we have altogether about 5 different senses that we use and they tend to function well. So sensory preferences is the likes and dislikes from a specific sensation. So whether you like sweet or maybe you don't like sour taste and etc. Okay, so you need to understand about your own child's preferences because they can have a sensory issues which may not be functioning well. Basically, our kids' sensory issues are not working well. Okay, that is why they can be at times can be hypersensitive or hyposensitive. So it is very important as a parent for you to understand your child's sensory issues. Okay, so if your child is very hypersensitive, that means they are very, very less sensitive to what is happening. You will find that when they walk around, they will bang into things, they will fall into things, and they may not even get the things right because you'll find that they are not able to sense the things well. On the reverse side of it is when your child is hypersensitive, and then you will see that your child is going to come in and look at you, get very excited, and things and covers the eyes and looks at avoid bright lights and everything because he is too sensitive to look at light. So it is very important for you to understand whether your child is a hypo or hyper. Okay, so you need to work on understanding and doing things adequately. So for example, if you think that your child is has a lot of visual limits and everything, then it is very important that you keep things to the minimal. Okay, so that it doesn't disrupt him. Okay, or if he is in the pictures, okay, put pictures in containers for visual memory, or you can keep amount of visual information worksheet for a minimum. So don't don't load him with too much of information. Always, okay, let him use a touch screen or instead of just looking at the mouse. Okay, using a mouse, let him do a touch screen. So that is for sight. Okay, for a child which is having an auditory or hearing problem, then you will find that normally when you talk to them, they do not react to you because they may not even listening or understanding, or they like to keep very loud. To you and me, it's bursting our ears, but to them, it's nothing. It's too soft. On the other side of it is how children react even to the smallest sound. They cover their ears, they can go into a meltdown and everything because they feel the sound is too loud for them. So it is very important for us to understand our children's needs. Okay, so very important. Use more visuals, okay, with pictures of words, okay, instead of words. Okay, so show them pictures so that they can see and it's easier because sometimes they can't hear you or they are too sensitive, so it is better that you use visual pictures, or you even can talk to them about the social studies about what might happen or sounds that can be heard in the room. Okay, why? So this is to prepare your child in advance for the different kinds of sounds so that when they go in, it is not a shocker to them for them to react. Okay, try to keep minimal your verbals and everything because if you shout, if your child is very sensitive to sound, if you talk very loudly like what I am talking, it might irritate him. Or sometimes you'll be shouting at the top of your voice and the child doesn't hear anything. So it is very important for you to understand the kind of issues your child is having. Okay, smell. Okay, generally some children who are very hypo, they do not smell anything, They, even if they have a rotten fruit right in front of them, they don't feel anything. They will just walk and move as though nothing has happened. On the other side, children who are very hypersensitive, even the smell of the bananas. Not sure how many of us really aware, but there is a smell in the banana that if you take a ripe banana very close to your nose, you can smell it. Okay, but our children who are very hypersensitive can smell it at a distance. So it is very important for you to know, okay, what is triggering your child, okay, whether it is hyper or hypersensitive. Okay, so if you are keeping in fruits and everything, it is good for you to identify and understand the kind of reaction that you are going to expect from your child. Taste. Okay, able to get away very spicy food without any issues, or even a little bit of spiciness will cause the trigger in them. So it is very important for you to understand about the different kinds of goods and things that you keep in the house, right? Especially if you have certain kind of poisonous items that you keep to kill the animals and everything, please keep them out of reach, because the children will never know and they will just eat it. So it is very important for you to understand. And also, you must understand that because the children have a taste issue, you need to get a balanced diet for them. So think through as you are looking at it. And then comes spatial. Okay, you will see that some children have no spatial awareness. They will just walk, they will just bang, they just see things as it is. Why? Because they just don't know how to react. Okay, they are unaware of their falls. They tend to fall as they walk, they will just fall because they're just not sure, or they will tiptoe things because they are very scared. So whether it is a hypersensitive or what, then they tend to be very rigid and they will just tend to freeze. They tend to be very freeze, or they tiptoe a bit. All this is because they are not able to understand the surrounding. So it is very important that you always tell your child to say a touch is hurts or pulls away. Acknowledge their pain and stop touching. Okay, so please do not just touch them anyhow, because the pain that they go through is very different from what you and I are going through. Okay, allow the child to sit in a beanbag chair. So that will be good because it gives them a sense. The beanbag can be a sense, or sometimes you'll find that at times even the clothing that they're wearing can be very, very uncomfortable. So it is very important to test the kind of clothing that you're going to buy for your child, not because it looks good or anything, but it's because it suits your child. So these are some steps that you should take a look. Okay, so this is my son in his early days. We realized that because of his hypersensitive to many things and to sound and also to touch and everything, we created a room, okay, which is very autism friendly for him, with very light colors, soft toys and etc., so that he's able to have a better time in the room. Okay, so this is like his personal room for him to go and play and see things. Okay, so as far as possible, we try to integrate the different systems of his and we try to put that together in the room. So maybe you can have a corner where your child can go and de-stress, where the child has a safe play for him to do playing things and etc. So to look at that as an opportunity. Okay, so whether your child is hypersensitive or hyposensitive, it is very important for us to understand that children will have different. They might be hypersensitive to one senses, but hypo to another. They may be able to smell things very, very strongly, but when it comes to sound, they cannot hear unless you shout to them. Okay, so you must understand that you need to calibrate your understanding of your child by understanding the different senses, so that when you are planning something, you need to bring You need to connect all the five senses dots and to come out with solutions. Okay. So this is the end of my lecture. Okay. So please scan a QR code and put in your reflections of what have you learned and what is it that you have done with your child. Thank you. See you guys. Bye.